go. Hello, everyone. Happy
Hello.
Monday. Happy Monday. Let's see who else here. Good to see y'all. Hello, hello. It's almost the middle of November. Can you believe that? Time is just ticking away. Let me put the chat up here. Not that I ever look at it, but I will put it up here just in case. There we go. Okay. Hello, hello. All right. Give everybody time to come in. Hello, hello. Y'all having winter? Everybody having winter now? Or
Back and forth.
I have my short sleeves on. It's 84 today.
Today it's like spring, but yesterday it was winter.
Oh gosh, sounds like so good. It's cool in the morning when I go out, and we had no humidity today, so it was absolutely gorgeous, really pretty. My flowers are still blooming. They're not blooming as well, but it's nice. And we're having a real cold front come through next week. It's supposed to go down to like maybe 48 at night and 62 in the day. So that's a winter.
That sounds nice. Yeah, that sounds nice.
I hope it's like that for Thanksgiving. Usually Thanksgiving, I've got the windows open and everybody's running in and out of the house in the backyard. And so, but some people like that. I mean, it's like that at Christmas sometimes too. Anyway.
We were lucky yesterday. It rained here.
Wait, what'd you say, Marilyn?
I said we were lucky. Yesterday, last night it rained.
Same here in Virginia. I'm just far enough
in
north to catch it.
Minnesota. In Minnesota, it's not so cold weirdly, but it's getting dark at 5 o'clock now, and it's still we still have another month or more till it turns around.
You know, I like it when it gets dark early. It's 6 o'clock here and it's dark now. And
I kind of like it, yeah.
I always call it nesting time because it's the time of the year you don't have to work in the yard. You don't have to mow the yard. You can put your PJs on at 5 o'clock if you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, dark 30, and it's pajama 30,
And it reminds you that the holidays are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cozy. Yeah.
Cozy.
When we lived in Memphis and it was colder there, I loved it when we would cook soup or something and the windows would get all steamy, and it's just, it's like you're inside and it's dark and it's just your family. I like it. Good time of the year. It's a time to rest, and just like the earth has to rest in the wintertime.
Yeah. Rejuvenate.
We do too. So that's nice. All right. Anybody have anything to show us? Or Sharon's got her hand up.
Okay.
You gonna get
her? Sharon. There.
Hello, Sharon.
I had ordered my Christmas cards that I mentioned last time. And I also had the trout pictures that I did printed. And I have sets of those that I'm going to be giving away, but I wanted to show you how nice they came out.
Tell me again where you ordered them from.
TCI Graphics in Springfield. And they digitized them and printed them up.
Oh, that looks so good.
Wow. That looks great.
It's got a little border around it.
Yep.
Oh my God. Did you sign that? Did you put your initials or anything on that?
No, I didn't.
But you can do that by hand. You can do that.
I could.
And you should.
And then the brown trout.
Wow.
Wonderful, Sharon.
Wow.
Cool.
Beautiful.
And then the
color is really good.
The cutthroat.
Oh my goodness.
I love those colors.
These are great.
Wow, beautiful.
It's like
and the rainbow. I like him too.
Pull back.
Pull it back, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's so nice.
Now tell me
really,
what are you
I'm
doing?
very, very pleased with how those came out. That's for sure. So
TCI Graphics, okay.
TCI Graphics. And then I did from some of my Spark things, did my Christmas cards. You'll probably recognize this, Janice.
Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I love that.
Oh, that's so good.
And on the back, on these, they printed art by Sharon.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I think this one's my favorite.
Oh, cute. I love it.
It's so good. Great. I love it.
Isn't he cute? I
Yeah,
just
back it
love-
up, back it up, hold it up again. and
Oh,
back
I
it
love
up.
how his hat is like slumped over one eye.
I love it. I love it. That is so
That's a
Sharon.
print.
Adorable, Sharon.
That's really good.
I'm actually looking forward to sending my Christmas cards this year.
Yay.
So, yeah.
Do they come with envelopes too?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. They
Oh.
sure did. Yeah, they sure did. Even these, they did postcards, and because these are just postcards, but
Oh.
these had envelopes also. So,
Oh. So are you
yeah.
going to give those as gifts?
Actually, I think I ended up with 4 sets of 6 pictures of each of the fish.
Uh-huh.
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them down to sets of 3 pictures of each of the fish. And then I have more.
Yeah.
There's several fly fishing clubs that have fundraising banquets and stuff. So I'm going to
Oh,
donate
cool.
them.
Oh, that's so good.
That's
And
neat.
That'd be great.
there's also a group of Mayfly. It's a group called Mayfly, and they teach foster kids how to fly fish, and they do
That's
fundraisers.
awesome.
And then they actually equip these kids with, if they stick with the program, they equip them with waders and a fly rod and everything. So
Oh my God.
anyway, yeah,
How
That's
great.
fun is
I had
that?
fun.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now I'm going to have to
You're
look up
welcome.
and see what I can do. Very nice. Now those fish had a little border around it, little line.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
That makes it very nice. Almost looks like it's matted. Now
I had put the border on with the fine liner, had to measure off from the corner,
oh,
so I got on the card itself. But
Oh.
it's nice because the cards were watercolor paper, but yet these are soft. I mean, it's like hot press, I guess.
oh yeah, yeah.
Very smooth. So
Good.
anyway,
Well,
look really
let
good.
us know what paper. Was there a number on the paper or a name on the paper?
no, all I did was walk in and tell her what I wanted. And then she started telling me, what they charge per design to digitize it and all this. And then there was a minimum I had to order. So I was like, okay. But she didn't discuss paper at all.
Oh,
So.
they just picked it out.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, she did good.
So,
Now,
Yeah.
could we do that remotely? Can we go on and just do it online, or did you have to go do all this in?
I didn't ask, but I could find out. I'll
Yeah.
find out.
Because the quality of that looks just great to me.
I
Okay.
will check and let you know.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Uh-huh.
Marilyn.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
No. Did you enjoy your birthday?
I did. It was a really nice birthday. I had green enchiladas. I mean, I ate so much. My daughter made a cake that was peanut butter banana. It was
Oh,
lovely, and she had fresh banana sliced on the top of it.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
love it in there, and I'm trying my best not to eat any more of that. There's some of that Mexican rice in there that I made for tonight. Oh my gosh, she wanted to make a lot more enchiladas for us, and I said, please don't, because I'll eat them. They were so good. I mean, some of the best Mexican food ever. She calls it Tex-Mex, but it's it's lovely and fresh and nice.
delicious.
He's the best.
Wonderful.
Mm.
I like Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is good.
Yeah, I have no problem with Tex-Mex,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I do have a problem in my middle with the Tex.
Which day was your birthday?
It was last Friday, the 8th.
Oh, that's my daughter's birthday.
It's a good time to be born. I like
Yeah.
all birthdays.
Yeah.
It's too close to election time, though, is the only problem.
Yeah.
I'm glad all that's over with. Okay.
So I've been working on my cookie recipe.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's really nice.
Your vanilla
Um,
looks great. That
Yes,
vanilla bottle.
that chunk of
Well-
chocolate back there.
Yeah, it's a hunk of chocolate, which is really kind of what my question is about. Because I decided to do Swedish vanilla cookies, and that's why the vanilla is so big, because
Good idea. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just wanted
Artistic
to,
decision.
yeah. But on the chocolate, I futzed with them a little bit, and the color I used was burnt umber, and like with a lot, really, really, really thick puddle. But I want to make it. I feel, I was trying to make, when you buy the chocolate in a bar like that, there are squares.
And I can see those.
Yeah, and there are divisions between them. The thing is, in this, the the area between the squares seems lighter, and it's
Mhm.
really not. But I feel like if I make it all the same color, I'll just have this big blob of chocolate. And I was just
Well,
wondering, if you
you,
had
you
any?
don't have to make it look exactly like your bar of chocolate because this is for other people to see. It looks exactly like a bar of chocolate. The light pieces that you left for your pieces of chocolate are fine. What you've done is just perfect. I wouldn't fret over anything else. It looks like a chunk of chocolate that you would use to cook with that has little squares in it.
Okay.
I mean, don't worry so much about making it exactly like the one you have.
Yeah.
A lot of times I am looking at clip art chocolate bars or just whatever and trying to make it a little more cartoony than my realistic brain wants to paint it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a problem I was having as well.
I
But
think it just looks grand. I love it. Show me the bottom of it. I can't see the bottom. Ooh,
Those look like the Pepperidge Farm Milan cookies.
yeah, Milanos, yeah.
Yeah.
that's just beautiful. And the little holly in the corner. Oh, I'm so glad you showed that to us. That is beautiful.
Thank you. So
And I think we need to all share our recipes with each other.
Yeah.
Since we can't do
y'all
a
send
cookie
digital,
swap
we
in
could-
person, we just need to do a recipe cookie swap.
yeah.
yes, we could. We could. I mean,
Right.
I make so many cookies at Christmas time, but so
Which are your favorites?
which are my favorites?
Yes.
Oh God. The it's hard. I mean, these, and then I make these butter balls that are just, well, they're like balls of butter with confectioner's sugar.
You may
What
have to
else
share
have you
both
got?
recipes with us if they aren't secret.
No, they're not.
Are
No.
those the ones that have the pecans chopped up in them?
It's ground up walnuts, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought we call those Mexican wedding cakes, and they have pecans in them. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, I've made those cookies actually with the pecans. They're really delicious. Another cookie that I make that everybody goes absolutely bonkers for, but I like them, but I don't go crazy about them, are Linzer Hearts. And I'm
Yes.
doing that, but I would need like 2 pages because it's really complicated. So I didn't do
I'll tell
that.
you what, let's do. If y'all have cookie recipes, if you have illustrated them, send me a picture of the illustration. If you have a cookie recipe that you don't have time to illustrate, just take a picture of the recipe, send it to me. I'll put everything in a PDF file and we'll send it out about the 1st of December. That sound
That
good?
sounds great.
Great.
That'll be our Christmas presents to each other. So
Yes, I love it.
let's say not more than 3 recipes a piece.
Okay.
It's a little bit overwhelming. I'm trying to think which ones I would send.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
But if you illustrate it, and Deb and I were talking before this class tonight about I hadn't seen anything posted in the schoolyard. Are y'all actually doing the illustrated recipes, or was that too much for you? Are you going to do it? I thought maybe it was a little bit of too much of an overwhelming project. Wait, do you see?
I was going to share about my thoughts about it. So since you're asking, I can actually kind of give you my feedback and show you where I'm at.
Okay, that'd be great.
Since I'm more of a beginner with this kind of stuff. So I wanted to actually do your recipe first. And what I found as I started to do it was that as I've been busy this weekend, so I haven't gotten a lot done. But what I found was that the illustrations were harder than I thought. So I had to practice them on a separate piece of paper. And then what I did end up doing is I did trace your letters just so I had like a point of reference as to where to put my different things, but I'm hand drawing all of this. So I'm doing your recipe to learn, but then I plan to do my own recipe. Yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
That's kind of what I thought that you would do. I thought that if your recipe was similar to mine, you could, which I think Marilyn's looked similar to my layout and everything. Hers looked similar to what I did, that you could just put your ingredients and things in there. Well, good. I'm glad to know that. Anybody else working on a recipe or having more comments about the recipes?
I,
Janice,
okay.
I just wanted to say that I think you said in last Wednesday's class that you were going to talk more about the lettering today. So I kind of waited because I
Okay.
wanted to hear about that.
I will do that.
I was too busy, I'm sorry, getting caught up from getting back. So
Wow.
I didn't do the cookie recipe, but my hope is to do my mother's isn't this week like the cake?
Yes.
Okay. I was wanting to do my mother's sour cream coffee cake. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. I just didn't know if see Jan's got her. Jeanette.
I yeah. go ahead.
Janet,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a
it's
minute.
Michelle. I was just wondering where one would send the recipes.
Oh, to my email. You get your Zoom link from me. That's the jango@gmail.
Oh, okay.
Just
Thank you.
yeah, just wherever, and put recipe, Christmas recipe in your, and it doesn't have to be. I guess we were asking for cookie recipes, but if you want to send something else, it doesn't necessarily have to be a cookie. It could be a cake or a bar or a drink or something. So, okay.
Okay.
Anyway, I was going to say, Janice, Carol, that I just did I didn't get my sketch done before we started or anything, so I just did a really devil may care as you worked, you know.
Yeah, that turned out great though.
Well, there's some issues, but I mean, yeah, at least I thought, when am I going to have time to start and do it? So I thought I would redo it, but I'm not sure I will.
Well, I think it looks good like that. If you wanted to put the recipe on there, you could put just a recipe card and stick it up there and then put your title over on the
I
side.
might, yeah. I might put a card. I've got the next page empty, and I wasn't really planning on mounting it in a book or anything, so I just kind of put in my sketchbook as a record what we did. And
Yeah, that was good. That looks great. So you did it with us. Good job.
yeah, I did it, but knowing that I couldn't finish it or that it was just, was kind of beyond me, so I thought I'll break the ice.
Okay, good. That's a good attitude. Yeah. Don't let it be a stumbling block for you. And that turned out great too. You did a good job.
It's okay.
Okay, let's do who did I do? Janine. Oh,
So-
that's good.
So I've been working at that today, and this is Arch's hot press, and I think it's the most awful paper. So and I want to say that I traced it because that's kind of how I learn. Just
Well, let me interrupt you right here.
Okay.
I was going to suggest that if it makes things faster for you, go ahead and trace it. I know some of you want to challenge yourselves to draw it, and that's where you are in your journey with art. But don't ever be embarrassed to trace this. You may have to trace the cake for this week. The bundt cake's a little hard to draw.
Yeah.
But painting it, you're tracing it, but you still have to do the work. You still have to do the painting and give it form and color. So don't ever apologize for that.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to putting the ink, and then I went ahead and did one on the cold press because I love the paper. But so I think you said you use Saunders hot press because I don't. Yeah, this was terrible. But anyway, and I can see where this will be a challenge because it's rough with the letters.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I've got a book I want to show y'all tonight. I'm going to talk about that very thing that this artist says about the cold press versus the hot press for her illustrations. So, and you'll like what she has to say.
Janine, I have a question for you. When you said that you didn't like the hot press, what were the things you noticed about it?
It was almost like painting on copy paper.
Huh.
And so I didn't get
Fun.
not much richness of color. And then a couple times I was staring at the video and dropped the brush on the paper, and then I couldn't get the color off. And so I
Yeah.
just feel like for an expensive paper, it's like 3 thumbs down.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
So
Everybody is different. I used to
Yeah.
love hot press, and lately when I'm using it, I don't love it as much as I used to.
yeah.
It dries very quickly. And it seems to absorb the paint and the pigment very, very quickly rather than being able to move it around. I don't know.
It feels
Here's
cheap.
how go
Like
ahead.
cheap. It just feels like cheap paper.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it wasn't cheap.
So you have learned, the only thing that I don't like about the hot press, it's harder to letter on, but I'm going to talk about what this lady in this book says
Okay.
about it. So, good. That looks great. And it doesn't look like, the color looks great on this. You did a good
Thanks. And I love pen. So I am going to send recipes, but I won't illustrate them. How's that?
job. That's fine. That's fine. I tell you what, I'll just illustrate everybody's recipe and make a book.
Oh, beautiful.
Not
you.
going to happen. I wish I had time to do that. That would be fun.
Anyway, thank you.
Okay.
I'm having fun.
Good. Well, I'm glad to see that all this work being done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Did I?
Well, someone else was up there before me.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. It's Brenda.
Me.
Did I just-
I got it drawn and I got the first layer on. I don't have any of the highlightings or anything done, but I'm afraid I got my chips and my eggs out of proportion, but
Yeah, but when you paint, when you
Learning.
get those chocolate chips and brown, that won't look it'll look better.
yeah, I didn't get any of the highlighting done yet. But
Yeah, well, that's good.
anyway,
I'm glad to see you started.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better about last week's class now.
what?
I feel a little bit better about last week's class. I thought, oh no, nobody wanted to do this one. So I worried
No,
about
we all wanted to do it. It's a good challenge, but it's also really fun. I've
Okay.
loved it.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
And my bowl's wonky like always, but that's okay.
Oh,
It looks nice.
All I did today was wonky, so it's okay. All
My
right.
stuff still leans a certain direction. But that's me, so that's fine.
Well, I mean, wonky's good. That's the one thing that sketchbook school always taught us is wonky's good. All right, here's that recipe that she talked about last week with her sisters.
Yeah. So I spent like 2 or 3 days this weekend. It was a 3-day weekend on the design alone because I want to put this email, which is really an army message of the recipe that my sister got. So it's my sister's favorite recipe. And so I'm making it as a gift for her. And then I had to I wanted to group things a little bit in easier steps. But anyway, these are thumbprint cookies. And so I got the design down and now I'm working on the final drawings and
Unclassified. Deb,
since
how did you put
since
that
it's an
email
army
on there?
message, they have to say whether it's classified or unclassified. So thank goodness it's unclassified.
Really?
That's great. I love it that it's got a little backstory to it like that. That's good. Thanks, Deb. Carolyn, you got your hand up again, or did we never put it down?
Yeah, again. I just, after hearing you wonder about why, nobody posted anything on Facebook. I have to say that I wanted to, but I wanted to wait until I was finished. And I found this to be a very interesting project because I love to cook. So this was kind of taking 2 things that I love to do and putting them together. But this was really a challenge because there were so many parts that needed to be planned out first. I mean, I found myself writing out on a separate piece of paper the ingredients and then the directions and counting how many lines that was. And so it was a logistical thing too. That was the challenge, which I really liked because it kind of involved me in how I was going to plan what I was painting.
Yeah. Deb and I were talking about that before class too, that some people like that kind of stuff and some people do not. It just depends on, your personality, your skills, your strong points, whatever, just however you're wired. And there was a time when I didn't really like having to plan so much, but I absolutely love it now. And I don't mind spending hours planning out a composition anymore. When before I would just kind of, and I still do some of that. I get the composition going and then I tweak it as I'm actually painting it. And so and that's one of the reasons I said you can trace my drawing if you want to, because you may not want to spend all that time. It may be that you love to paint more than you love to draw, or you want it to be, you want it to fit on there without having to, measure and make sure everything lines up or is in the right place. So I think it's okay to do that, because this technically is a watercolor class. We said in the beginning it would be lots of other things, but the main thing that we're doing is watercolor. So, since you mentioned that, I'm going to show you what I went through this week too. I thought this was going to be an easy one because my recipe only has not a lot of ingredients. I'm just going to use my camera. Oh, I don't have it set up. Here it comes. There we go. Here's the recipe. Look how short it is. It's just not a lot of things. And I thought, this is going to be so easy. But it went through a lot of iterations. Is that a word? To get to where I was, I started off, and y'all may not like to do this, and it may be that you just slap it down there the first way you get it, that's how you keep it. And I've done that before too. I did some real quick thumbnails of how I wanted to lay it out. And then the next thing that I did, I had this in order. I did it this way. Here was the pound cake. I was real excited about the pound cake, and I thought I'd lay it out this way, but I thought that was kind of boring, so I didn't do that. So I ended up, after several tries, I had this one at one point in time, but I wanted to change positions of these things. So I had to trace it again. I had a lot of tracing paper. I went and bought some more tracing paper today. Ended up, this was my this was my final drawing of it. And I went through all kinds of angst about how I was going to, I'm still not real happy with all this, but I'm going to work out the lettering a little bit more before I send it off to you. And then this is what I ended up doing. I ended up with it's kind of large. So, y'all have to probably do it smaller. This is 9 by 11, I think. And I had all this extra space and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to write there. So I love blue and white china. So I have blue and white china in mine, and I put these blue and white pieces. So when you do this, you can bring it in and put it all together, or maybe just put some other kind of little decorative line on there, a double line, a vine, or just, or nothing. So, and I'm going to have writing on these lines right here that are showing directions, and they're going to be numbered. But it was a long process. I always like the way it looks once I get the color on it. I like it better than I like the drawing. But we'll see. I still don't know what colors. I've got these little banners on here with amounts and stuff. I don't know what color I'm going to do that yet, and I'm not sure about the writing. If it's going to be in a color, or is it going to be black or gray or whatever? But that's how. And it's just a few ingredients. It's just sour cream and baking soda, butter, sugar, eggs, flour, some flavoring, and that's it. So, but it probably maybe could have. I kind of wanted to do this in a circle because the cake is circular. So you can, if you're going to do a cake, you could do your ingredients like this. And I'm just going to have some arrows going around here. And you may have more ingredients so that you could put some up in here. You could overlap some of your ingredients. And I'm just going to number them, and that'll help us get things in order, make sure that it's done in order. But I looked at some, and I'll probably show them at the beginning of I'll just show them now because it's going to be a busy class. Let me just show you some pictures that I absolutely love, but I can't do it. Let me see how do I get to there? I'm going to share. And I'm going here, this one right here. Look how busy that thing is. And I love all of those different colors of writing. And I mean, I don't know if anybody could really follow that and make a cookie, but it sure is cute, isn't it?
It's
And I
pretty, yeah.
really wanted to do that. It was going to take me so much time to figure all of that out, and then all the different fonts and the different colors of the fonts. But I love it. I think that's so cute. So it has a lot of movement, and it's just really nice. But I thought it would be too much for us to try to do all of that. And look, there's some chocolate chunks, Marilyn. And I got some of my ideas from there was something on here, the bowl. I liked the bowl because it was blue and white china, and I liked the butter, so I kind of copied those for mine. But I look at a lot of recipes online and come up with, you know, how I'm going to do my different elements. Okay.
Janice,
Uh-huh.
I have a quick question. Just as you're talking about how you went through those different iterations, how do you keep yourself from getting bored and or frustrated with doing the same subject over and over again? I guess maybe, as you said, it's just that you kind of get down into the interesting part of composing it and it just absorbs your attention.
It's a discipline. It is really a discipline, and I have
Okay.
to focus on, because I know now, just like you have learned that there's a messy middle to your painting. You have learned if you stick with it and don't throw it in the trash can and keep going, in the end, you're going to like it a lot better. When you get those darks, you get those details, it may not be perfect, but you're going to like it a lot better than you do when everything is mid-tone. I know that in the end, I'll be glad that I did it. And sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I have to walk away from it. Sometimes I have to look at it the next day. But
I asked because I finished my pine cone drawing and then went to do my next version of the pine cone drawing. And oh gosh, please don't put me on spotlight.
okay. Okay, I won't.
But I did my next version of the pine cone drawing, and I just cannot get the pine cone drawn out right. It's driving me bonkers. And so it's been frustrating for the past week. And I feel like I don't want to go back to it, but I know I want to, and I need to. It's hard to kind of be patient with it, I guess. And maybe part of that is the fact that I'm frustrated with my drawing of it.
Go
Hey,
back.
Lynette, I had trouble drawing it too. I've been really frustrated. So so you're not alone.
Okay, thank you.
Well, go back to the beginning of the class and watch it again. I talked a little bit about how the pine cone.
You did great. You did great with that. It's, you did fantastic with that. And I have watched that probably 3 or 4 times, and I keep drawing it. And I've probably erased 7 or 8 times, and I keep doing it over again. And
Okay, here's another plan. Print it off, get some tracing paper, trace those little brackets, nothing else, just the brackets, the little,
yes,
things on I think it's bracts or something. Trace those, look at your tracing and draw what you traced. And then add everything else.
And I think what I need to do, because I actually, believe it or not, I had, what is it? What would Janice do? WWJ. It was in my head. So I have my print off of what you sent us as your line drawing, but this line drawing was a little bit different than what you actually did in class.
Oh, is it?
And so what I need to do is I need to screenshot your line drawing from class, print that, and trace that.
Mm-hmm. There's also a lot of videos online that show you how to draw a pine cone. So you might look at some of those, or there's all kinds of free instructions. There's diagrams and stuff. So you might do that. I think once you've drawn it and you get it, you realize what it's doing. They
The whole swooping, the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, and you have to leave some space between them, and sometimes we don't leave enough space between them. So yeah. And maybe next studio time I could go over that again if y'all want me to next Monday. I'll do
We'll
that.
see. I'm going to try to conquer it this week with my recipe. So,
And like I said, just trace it, part of it, and then look at your tracing and draw that. I think that will, nothing else will get in the way. You'll be able to just draw those little pieces and get them in line like they're supposed to do. And then the background part of it's easy because it's just dark back there.
okay. Thank you.
That's a trick. I used to use that with my students all the time when I was teaching high school. Okay. Got deep into all of that, didn't we? That was good. I'm glad to know that y'all are trying to do your recipes. And I said I was going to do this. I couldn't wait to get it in my, I cut mine in half and put it in my cookbook. And it worked out.
I love that.
It looks great.
Because I didn't want to have to redo the whole thing because I knew it was good. So that's what it is.
What are the dimensions on that book? I can't
7
remember.
by 10, I think, because it's
Okay.
7 by 20 this way. Let me
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a 7 by 10. I don't know all the different kinds of books there are. Let's see, this one is, yes, it may be, yes, it's 7 by 10. Yes.
Thanks for checking. Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're ready to Zentangle for a little while tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to turn this over to, and I wanted to tell you, well, we'll talk about that later. Our plans, we've got some plans for later on. Go ahead and spotlight you. There you go. It's you, Miss Miriam.
Okay, we got it. And I want to say, I think tracing is a great way to learn. I don't think it's cheating or anything because it makes you consciously look at what you're drawing in a way, and it builds that muscle memory. Like sometimes I'll do it if I can't figure something out just to force me to look in a different way.
Yeah,
but
I mean, tracing is fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to learn, just like you said.
yeah,
Ooh, look at
another
her.
tool. Okay.
I'm curious.
So today we're going to do this this crazy tangle, the curvy line thing. So I didn't do the squares like I've been doing because it just goes all over the place, and to try to fit it in a square, you can do that after the fact. And this one, I just wanted to tell you what tools I used. Sometimes using a mid-tone paper. This is a tan, but this paper is super fragile. Not my favorite. I'm just trying to use it up, but it's like a tan. I think Strathmore makes that tone tan, which is nice because you can add highlights and shadows. You know, you can go both ways, which is kind of fun. For the kind of burnt sienna or reddish color there, I used it's called the brown, which is funny because they have a sepia that's a dark brown, and then they have a brown that's almost a reddish brown, but it was competing. And so I went over it with the white chalk to kind of tone it down. And then I did more white chalk on that. But so this is the tangle. And I thought it was nice because if everybody kind of remembers the hollow ball we did where things overlap, I thought this was a fun, feeds right into that because we'll practice that overlapping. So I want to demonstrate one thing. You're welcome to do it along with me. And this, I have one little square here. But one thing that I think makes hollow ball work well is, and we talked about it a little bit the last time. So we've got lines that are parallel-ish. And it was the under and over. I'm going to turn my tile because it's just easier for muscle memory and the way my wrist works. And it's the takeoff and land. So I go along, and when I hit that line, right, hopefully I don't go over it, I lift my pen just slightly and I pretend I'm still drawing. When I get to the other side, I continue. So I'm going to do that again, going along, hit that first line, lift my pen ever so slightly, and I continue. I have found for most people, this is much more effective than going along, kind of lifting my pen. People end up all over the place and the line doesn't look quite as much like a continuance. You're more likely to kind of end up over here or something that maybe doesn't line up as neatly. So this is a really good time to do that, practice that. You hit, you take off, you land on the other side and continue. Hit, take off, land on the other side and continue. So that was just one thing, because in this particular tangle that we're going to do, I think it really helps to add to the flow of all those curvy lines. So that said, I am going to, and if you're working in your in and out notebook or whatever, just get that piece of paper. There is, and I'll show that on my scrap piece of paper. It's just parallel lines. And then there is a shape that looks like almost, it could be a pea or a little leaf shape. That's the only other element to this. It seems to work nicely if it continues and you bring it back around and then just stop at that line. Okay. So with that, we will get started drawing it. We're going to start with the most basic shape. If you look online, there are all different ways to do this. I think this is the most straightforward way, and it can be expanded to as many of these things as you want to add on. So I am going to start with what is basically a curvy triangle, or a triangle that has curved edge. Maybe it looks like a candy corn. I'll give everybody a minute who wants to do that. And now I'm going to do off of this, I want to make it look like that P shape continues. So I'm actually going to restate this line and I'm going to just continue off. And one thing about this is I want it to be maybe at least 1.5 of this length. I don't want it too close. I want some space right in here. I like restating the line because it makes it look like it continues as opposed to starting at the edge. Again, for muscle memory and because tiles with Zentangle, we turn our tiles a lot. I'm going to repeat that same thing. Remember, we do patterns, restate that line. And this time, maybe my P is just a little bit bigger. And you'll never draw this tangle the same way twice. You won't draw it like mine. You kind of have to draw it and play with it and experience it. And then I'm going to do one more. This one might be a little shorter, a little bigger, just because I'm running to the edge of my paper. So we have kind of a windmill-y shape. And I'll let everybody get to that place. The hardest part about teaching online is I can't see everybody's heads go up always. Or I don't hear the pens on the paper. Okay. So if you remember in Zentangle, we talked about auraing, which is where you follow a line, the shape of it, but at a little distance. So I am now going to go in aura, and I'll do the first one. And you can watch, I'll explain everything as I'm going. I'm auraing this. I'm not going to make it too tiny. You could make it narrow, but I'm just going to go. And if this gets wider here, comes around, whatever you want to do, there's no wrong. And it'll be fun to see all the differences. If you can see, I auraed the outside of that line and I stopped right where it connected. So everybody do that. And I like to approach these in patterns. So I'm going to turn my tile and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to aura this line. And this time I might stay closer and I might make it come around this way. They can all be different. And it's a pattern, so I'm repeating. So I'm doing it the third time. And I'll wait for everybody to get here because it's easy, but you have to see this to see it work. So we're going to go from this right here to this. Right? Everybody pretty much there? All right. So what you want to know is you have a line here and it loops around. You want to think of it going back here and connecting. So it's a line, it loops. The next ribbon or arm that touches it, we're going to connect to. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to connect the two inner ones by, I'm going to do the takeoff and land. I'm doing an arch, and I'm coming back around as though, and I was connecting to this line. So does everybody see that? Take a minute to look. It's the two innermost lines. Probably should have done that in a different color so you guys could see it clearly. Okay. Everybody's got their two innermost. Now I'm going to connect the two outermost. All right. And whichever way your hand works, if you want to go this way, do the takeoff and land up. And I'm going to just bring it on back. And you can see I'm being kind of extreme. So now it looks like this goes up, it goes under, it goes around. And we're going to the next one. It's a pattern, so we're going to do the same thing. I like to turn my tile. I'm going to connect the two innermost and how far up or down. I do find for me looking, so once I start drawing this, I start looking at where I'm going. I'm trying to make that line connect to this. I'm not watching my pen as much as I'm almost looking where I'm going. And that draws my pen right into where I want it to go. All right, so now I'm going to connect my two outer lines. I'm doing the takeoff and land, and I'm going to make him be a little wonky, and he's coming right in there and connecting. Everybody see that?
Mine's not working.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Who is that?
That's me. There's something I'm not doing that's not working.
No problem, Sharon. That's you, Sharon, right?
Yep.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can. Deb, can you spotlight her and I can look at it?
Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Okay. So I can see what you did there. So you made your triangle.
Yeah.
And you came off the top.
Yeah.
And then you came here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
What I thought we were supposed to do. I don't get it.
Okay, that's okay. We're going to make our triangle. We come off the top. We have to go all the way around, all three of them off the top, right?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. And this is where, if you notice on the one, you came off the top again. You have to come all the way back to this bottom line.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
You see it?
Yep.
Go all the way back to, and you know why I know that? Because I did the same thing when I was trying to learn it. Yep. And that's really important because if you do more than 3 sides, you really have to notice that or you'll get really lost. Okay. So this is where it's nice to be doing a pattern. We did arm number 1. We did arm number 2. So instead of being totally lost, I'm turning my tile to arm number 3. Is that working, Sharon?
I'm getting there.
Okay. And
There's
if anybody,
another question, Marion. Janine has a question and I'm not sure I understand it. So Janine, you're going to have to
make a 2-inch tangle to trace for. Are you talking about when I do the little boxes like this? Jam? Like these squares? Janine? Oh, is it Janine? I'm sorry. I see. Okay.
She's got her audio off. We can't hear you, Jan, if you're talking. Janine.
If it's about making these little squares, 2 things. I could probably send a little template. I could make one up real quick. I just trace a little 2-inch square that I took a corner rounder and made round corners because I like the look of it. And then I put a center line so that I could kind of sort of line them up. I'm not super perfect, but I could possibly do like 6 on this size page or something, but this is really handy. I use it all the time till it falls apart. Just a piece of cardstock, and then I corner it. It wouldn't have to be corner rounded. Does that help?
I'm not sure she's listening.
Oh.
I saw you did that a few times ago, and so I glued or taped a little pocket to the beginning section of my Zentangle
Yeah.
section to put it in so I don't lose it.
So yeah, then you always have it. Yeah, I just have it stuck on my desk in a pocket, actually, on my computer. But you can just cut a 2-inch. This is a 2-inch square. And I just found that handy. And Zentangle actually makes a little mini 2-inch tile. So, and I can post that on the website. So we've gone 1, 2, and everybody here now. We're on our 3rd arm. It's looping around. I'm going to do this inner. So here I am. I'm up and I'm over and I'm connecting. So I connected the 2 inner lines. And I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to connect the 2 outer lines. And then I have kind of a fun, wonky, endless line, loopy line.
That's cool.
So we'll do this again and just step through it. Is everybody's good? Everybody's got the idea now? Awesome. Okay. I'm going to get a clean sheet of paper because I collect all kinds of scrap paper and I always use it. Just for the heck of it, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it with a 4-sided. So making a diamond, I don't know, I like the rounded. It could be square, doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like one side could be a little wonky, a little longer. Okay. So you get your middle shape if you want a square or you want to anything with sides where you can take the lines off. And now I'm going to go ahead and make restate the line, the edge of the square, continue on and do my loopy shape. I'm going to turn my tile. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Continue. And I might play with some of them bending a little more. Now that could be interesting how it's going to curve. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how it's going to work out. But all of those are just fun problems to explore. And this one, I'm going to maybe make him go this way. He'll be a little larger. Now we got the little pinwheel with our little leaf shapes, I guess, kind of, sort of.
Miriam, what is the name of this?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is called Cassinoda. It's by a German Zentangler named Teresa Fessler. And I'll send a sheet with it all written out for you too. And I don't know why I looked. I have no idea why it's named that. Okay. So once we get these now, and thank you, because I will teach more clearly, Sharon. We're going to start back on this line on our last arm, and we're going to aura all the way around here. And sometimes my hand's in the way, so I will turn my tile so I can see. And I'm going to let it get really wonky around here. And come. Turn it. Maybe it's going to be fatter on this side than on that side this time. Woo, I got really thin. Keep turning. And you're repeating the same thing all 4 times. I do feel like this is one of those tiles that, or tangles that the more you do it, it'll just click all of a sudden. And then, oh, that's how I do it. And then you can play a lot with it. Now we've got 4 arms. Each arm has been entirely auraed.
Have you ever done a hexagon?
Yes. I'll show you. I got up to, on my sample sheet, I got up to a pentagon, but yes, you
Oh,
can.
wow.
It gets really, you'll see when on the 5, it starts getting really overlappy. Yes. So, okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to pick, like, this is number 1. Okay. And if you want to keep track, sometimes you can like write in pencil. This is 1, and I'm going to start at number 1, and I'm going to connect my inner lines. So I'm going to do the takeoff and land, and maybe I want to be really funky, and I'm going to stretch it way out. And then I'm going to connect my outer lines. So he's going to take off. Oh, I bumped into that. So I'm going to skip around, and I'm going to connect. Okay. Now I've done arm number 1. And if it helps, turn it back to where you started. There's arm number 1. Now I'm going to do arm number 2. If I follow arm number 2 all the way around, I'm going to connect my 2 inner. And he's kind of already starting to curve this way, so I'll just play with that. Connect it. And then I'll do my 2 outer. It's one of those things, if you ask someone how to draw this, it'd be like, I don't even know where to start. But when you see it, it's so simple. It's kind of why I like Zentangle. It helps me break things down. Okay, so now I've done arm number 1, arm number 2. I'm going to turn my tile and do arm number 3. I'm going to connect my 2 inner. And whichever way is easiest for your wrist to work. Go over. And he ends up bumping behind there. He's actually going to go all the way behind. He's overlapping totally. So my line here overlapped. And that's fine. Go back to the beginning. Then arm number 1, arm number 2, arm number 3. I'm going to turn it. I need to do arm number 4. Okay, so here we go all the way around. I'm going to connect my inner lines. And I might let him swing back a little. I'm going to connect my outer lines. And it's not quite a Celtic knot, but it has that kind of continuous, where does it start kind of thing. So I will show you the samples I made that I will send. Well, let me talk about a couple of things. If you want to talk about what you can vary, right? Obviously, this would be for, I know Janice has done some like gems or the buttons or the shiny centers. You could do those in here if you wanted to. So that's one thing. You can put a pattern in these swirls. That would be another thing you could do. How you shade it. Since in Zentangle, we tend to shade things that overlap, one way to shade for sure is on each side. This is just the most straightforward way to shade. You just work everywhere it overlaps. And you can get a really nice 3-dimensional effect. And I can get rid of my numbers. before we go any further, is there anyone at all who the pattern isn't working for now? Do everybody have the basic? Okay. And just if you ever get frustrated or stuck, or after we're done, I know these classes are recorded the studio time, so you can reference them, but don't hesitate to just message me, because I don't want anybody to ever be frustrated. This should be fun. And I'll just a little shading. Shading. And you could get elaborate with your shading if you wanted to, be very dramatic and have areas where it kind of shaded on the inside to give the feel of 3 dimensions. Shaded on the bottom. Kind of shade to make it look like it's poofing out a little. Always the fun time to take the tortillon and blend it all out. Maybe this would work in a spaghetti recipe.
Ooh, I like that.
I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. This
It was
is
just one of those. I came across it and I thought, oh, we just did Holly Ball. This is a perfect way to, see concept in a tangle that was just fun. I thought really fun.
I like the fluid movement of it.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Like matching up socks in laundry. I love when all the lines connect perfectly. It's such a feeling of satisfaction.
It is. It's like, and it's like, it's hard to, I was trying to play with it, like how to get, like I wanted it to make like if it was poofing out and twisting under, like here getting wider and then going narrower where it goes behind. Like I haven't, this wasn't my plan for today until Saturday when I saw it and I thought, oh, we've got to do this while we still have Holly Ball in the brain.
Reminds me of those little track car things the kids had, the
Matchbox.
yeah. And the tracks go all over the place.
Yeah. So, just this is the most basic thing you can do with it. Just shade it. On my tile I showed a minute ago. So I shaded it and then, I let it I put a circle behind it after the fact. I love this little handy thing for making circles because I can just has little holes and I can twist it and got little templates, but it also has all these holes to make. So if you're ever working on a small, it's nice because this fits right in the center and then I can do different sizes of circles and they line up nicely.
That's handy.
Yeah, it's kind of a handy little wheel thing. But here I just
Coffee
dropped.
mug will work.
Pardon me?
I think my coffee mug will work.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, and so just kind of built around that, put this funky pattern behind it. And then it was way too detailed a pattern and I couldn't follow it was kind of funny. But in true Zentangle style, like here you can tell it didn't match up and see how it kind of twists together. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. But it's actually supposed to match up like over here. But again, like a lot of this stuff, and like even Janice was saying about the recipes, it's the feeling, it's the visual impression that it makes at first. And we can really beat ourselves up and we should just not. We're artists. We should be enjoying this. So doesn't mean we're not working toward it all, but it's just being happy for what we've done. So then let me show you. And to your answer, here's my pentagon, Sharon. Okay. And I will post this one.
Oh, cool.
So here's 3. And I just put quick little orbs in it,
Oh, that's cool.
some things off. This was just 3 leaves. I couldn't fit other leaves, so I put some little orbs. And then this just kind of the feathering line behind it. It's really an aura line that just all
I love
attaches at
that.
one
Does
point.
does that have a name? I remember we did that with in the I love that pattern.
There is a pattern that's a jonku. I think it's called jonku.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And it starts and then it builds on that. Yep. And it's a great way to learn how to kind of twist these around. We will do that at some point because it's fun. So you could go on the outside of the ribbon and do something, which I did here. And then I filled in with orbs and black and in the loop parts. Here I just did the loop parts. And originally I was going to do a gem, but then I didn't get to the color. But I had started kind of the idea of a gem. And here I shaded with a little more of a light source coming down from the top because I just wanted the drama. And of course, when you put it on the screen, you can see right where you missed. But hey. And here what I did is I auraed the inside of all the enclosed places. And then instead of shading where things overlapped, like here or like what we did, I shaded the edges of the pieces to make them feel a little more tubular maybe.
Yeah.
And I rounded. And this was the Pentagon one.
Oh,
So it
wow.
has 5 sides. And the same thing, but here things started bumping into each other. And so I thought, well, I'm just going behind. I'm going behind. Keep going around, keep going around. And then just keeping track of that when you're going to fill everything in. You just be methodical and it'll work. So that's Casanova, which I don't know. I think there's some fun stuff that can be done with that.
This is my favorite one so far. I love it.
Yeah.
It's funky fun. I don't know. I haven't figured out how to fit it into anything. I think it just is organic and it grows. And
I've seen pieces of jewelry that look like this.
yeah. Could see that.
Pins, pendants. What did you say about a sepia? I had walked out of the room real quick a minute ago and you were saying something about a sepia.
So let me see if I can find that pen. Always getting it messed up.
Oh yeah, I have that one too.
Yeah, this is like the reddish brown, and then they have a dark brown that is so dark.
It's almost
Yeah,
black.
here it is. I almost confuse it for black a lot.
Me too. I've picked it up before mistakenly.
Yeah, I started putting tape on it because
Yeah.
sometimes I'd be halfway through a drawing. I'm like, that doesn't look black. It looks brown. But this reddish brown looks nice on this. In the Zentangle world, they did a whole Renaissance thing and they used this reddish brown and black and white, like a Leonardo da Vinci kind of a feel.
Like Conte crayon. We used
Yes.
to do a lot of those kind of drawings in college, black and sepia and white.
Yes.
Style of the Renaissance drawing.
Yes. And that was the whole doing it on this paper with the reddish brown and black and white. The mid-tone papers are fun because you can highlight.
Yes, I
go
love
back
the
and forth.
mid-tone papers.
Yeah. They just need to make the in and out books in the mid-tones now.
Oh, we should I bet they
Let
sell
them know.
those books. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to write them tonight.
Okay. Tell them you got a whole bunch of followers who are on it with you.
Yeah.
And we'd be happy to test them for them.
And include your tile, Janice.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like this paper. I have this brown paper that I ordered little boxes of that I just love. It's really heavyweight. Kind of nice texture.
How's the ugly books coming?
I haven't touched mine. My
That's the
grand
paper that you were just saying that you liked it. You said it's a mid-tone color.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I could do that. Oh, you're right. I forgot.
No, the one you're using right now. I think you just said you like what you're using right now.
Oh, yeah. See, I know this is this brown paper that I'm using is, let's see, it's heavyweight brown craft cardstock by Uncle Paul.
Okay. Did you get that on Amazon?
I think so.
Heavyweight craft brown cardstock.
I'll show you. I hate that. I'm gonna just add my spotlight. Where am I? Hello. You can't find me. There I am. It's this
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
brown craft cardstock by Uncle Paul. It's really heavy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I think it would be great for gouache too. I think that's what
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if you could make your own, buy that, and then somehow turn it into your own sketchbook.
you can take it to Office Depot. I think will make it into a spiral bound book.
Oh, okay. That's great to
Somebody,
know.
I can't remember who it is. Brenda Swinton.
Staples will too.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the artists that used to teach a course at not a class but a course at Sketchbook School talked about that. She makes sketchbooks with 3 or 4 different kinds of paper in them, and it takes them to the office supply place, and they put them together a spiral bound for her.
Oh,
That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Janine has her hand up.
I'm so embarrassed. I took a phone call and I think she was talking about Marilyn, what she used for the template for the Zentangle. And so if you could just repeat that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked a little bit about that. So I just use this little 2-inch on the back. It's just a 2-inch piece of brown craft stock, basically,
okay.
that I put a corner rounder on. And then I put like center lines just because sometimes that makes it easier for me to stack
okay.
them. Like I kind of, okay, it's kind of the center. It's kind of the center. I don't measure that out very much, but that's all. And I think Deb was saying she has something like that and she keeps it in a pocket in the front of her Zentangle book.
Yeah, I taped a little pocket on the front page of the Zentangle section, and I just keep it in there so I don't lose it.
Oh, cool. So is that corner rounder? Would that be like on the envelope maker that we bought?
Yeah, you can
Yes.
use that.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's the one on the outside of the
Okay.
and you can buy a stamp that's
Yep. I have
a punch.
way back in the days, this corner rounder, it has a couple different sizes.
Right.
I think they still said that the We Are Crafts is still at Michael's or somewhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
Michael
Okay.
and Hobby Lobby, I believe.
Yep. And then this was just from Amazon. I've dulled it. I've used it so much, but you can get small and large. It just has to do with how round the corner is. This was Amazon, I know. But
Yeah.
Okay. And I like that round circle thing you were using too. Was that an Amazon?
yes, and I'll put that, I will link that on the I will.
Okay.
I will
Thank
get
you
this.
so much. I
Absolutely.
apologize. I stepped
that's
away for a
great.
second. Okay.
Hey.
Thank you. It was
That
great.
happens.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Okay. Let us move on tonight. I have a couple other things. Thank you so much, Miriam. That was fun. I love it. I love it.
That was good. I liked it.
All the stuff right there. Said that I would show you how to do the lettering. And it really wasn't a lot that I needed to show you. I had forgotten I said that. I didn't write it down. Let me go back to me and add the spotlight. Okay, and let me go to my. Okay, I very quickly drew these letters. I didn't spend a lot of time doing them, but I just want to show you how I would do this. Now, there are people who can do this lettering. They'll find just the right brush or just the right marker, but I usually just paint mine in. Like I said to y'all before, this kind of lettering my granddaughter can just do with almost any tool. just in one stroke. And all the downstrokes on this are wide and the upstrokes are skinny. And I just find the right brush and I play around with my brushes. And I don't like to have, when I have a pointy brush, a small pointy brush, I want it to have some spring to it. If it doesn't have a spring to it, it's a little bit harder. This is so messy what I just drew. Let me take out some of that pencil, it's too dark. I'm going to do it just in red. And I have a size, these are those brushes that I recommended. This is a size 1. They're not real high quality brushes, but they work pretty well. I'm going to just take I'm going to find a brush, and I don't know if this is the one, yeah, that will make a really nice outline. And I'm going to fill in. And this may take some practice for you, some brush control. I'm keeping my, when I do these outlines, I'm keeping my eye right in front of the brush. If you take your eye off of my eye's right here in front, right in front of where this brush is moving down. I find that if I take my eye off of it, I will wander away and not be right on my line, or my brush will do something I don't want it to. I always have to make the stroke that way. I can't pull that down very well. So, but sometimes when you go up this way, you don't meet it correctly. So that's just something that you have to practice. I'm going to bring this one down like that, fill it in. And I suggest that you practice this with different brushes that have a small little tip on the end. You can even do this with a bigger brush that has a nice, nice small pointy tip on it. I've done that before. But I think you have to concentrate more when you've got a bigger brush to make sure that you don't press down too heavy, or you'll get a bigger stroke. But that's how I do that. And you can use a tiny little brush. It just takes you, this one is a 1. You could take, I have found that I don't like, let me try that. This is that script brush, the mini silver script brush. It's so long, the bristles are so long on this chuck. I gotta put another C here. They're so long, and this doesn't hold as much paint either. So you can see that this takes a little bit longer. It takes a lot more concentration on my part than the size 1. This is probably a 00 or something. It says it's just a 20-0 script brush. And I've got some lines going in there too. So practice with your little brushes and see which one. Now I traced this font, these letters off of, I printed them out and traced them. You could do, if I wanted to spend a lot of time, I could do that by hand, draw by hand, but it was a whole lot faster to trace them. We talked about tracing earlier. You can see that well, you can't see it. This is much lighter than that because that paintbrush just didn't hold very much paint when I was painting with it. So find the brush that works for you. But I'm just outlining carefully, slowly. And if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. If your handwriting, if you can't do this perfect, find a font that's just funky, that it won't matter if it's a little crooked or it's a little too long or it's a little too wide. Find a font that's easier for you to do. While we're talking about fonts, I had an idea today. Today, I think Pecky made a comment maybe on something. I think I posted on Instagram, and she said something about a Janus font or something. She needed to learn how to do a Janus font. I said in the beginning, back in May when I was starting this class, I was going to do some lettering. Maybe some of the weeks in December, that would be a good time. We probably should have done it before we had the class. But I thought about spending a few weeks on lettering. We're going to do some Christmas tags and some bookmarks. And then as we get closer to Christmas, it's almost too late to be doing that. So maybe that would be a good time to practice some lettering. And I can teach you some tricks and some things that I've done to improve my handwriting and not my handwriting, but my letter making. Letter making is more about drawing than it is about your own handwriting. And no matter what you do with your letters, it's still going to look a little bit like your own handwriting. The slant of the line, the thickness of the line, how tall or short or fat you make your letters will, some of your handwriting characteristics will be found even when you draw letters. But is that okay with y'all? Do y'all think the lettering would be a good thing to do? Well, I know some of you already have nice lettering, but I think it's fun, and we can do some little practice and play things with our letters too that make lettering even more fun for cards, for recipes. For Janine put her, hey, yeah, thumbs up.
I think that sounds great. I'd like that.
Janine found a reaction button that's a thumbs up. So okay, well, wow, how did you do that, Deb?
It's under React.
Yes, everybody can see it. Do it.
It's under React, and there's a thumb up along the top, and it and the top line.
Oh, send with
It's send with effect. It's send with effect.
There you go. There you go.
Wait. What else can I do?
Oh, spaceships. All right.
Elon Musk was here. I did not know you could do that.
If you hit the 3 dots, it'll take you to your emoji file. You can do any emoji.
What? Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong place. React. Here we go. The 3 dots. Okay.
This is so fun.
All right.
Oh God.
This is going to be great on the video. How am I going to describe that in the notes?
Oh, I could have done this when we were doing mushrooms.
Oh.
All right, one more and then I'm going to stop. Okay, I just got to see what else we got here. I'm sorry. I cannot stop. I want to have Zoom meetings with all my friends. Oh, too, actually. What else is there? If I could see, it would help. Is there a corgi in there? I wish my little corgi was in there.
Mike says I have to have my camera on, and because it's not highlighted. Huh.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we saw when you did your thumb, but I don't know. Are you trying to do this effect? Oh, on fire.
Yeah.
So
The effect
maybe
thing, it says my camera has to be on. So.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, duh. Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
So y'all use the reaction button sometimes when I'm doing something, if you love it or do
Okay.
sometimes I don't hear anything. It's like, oh, are they getting it? Or, maybe if it was something really bad and you didn't get it, you could do, oh, wait a minute, let's see what. Like, we're gonna have to pray about this one. I don't know if I'm gonna get that or not. Okay, this is just too much fun.
I like the snow one. I'm making it snow.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
But it's going the wrong direction.
It did go the wrong direction.
This is the most important thing we learned tonight. Oh my gosh. Wonder if the cars and the things, do they go across the screen or they go up? No. Maybe they went horizontal.
Yeah,
They should have done that. They could have just zoomed across here. This is too fun. Okay. I got other things to do. I'm going to meet with friends on Friday, so I will surprise them with all of that. Okay, I have a new book I want to show y'all, and I'm just so inspired by it. There's an artist that, I did that Celtic knot class I told you about, and Valerie Shojin is the one who teaches that. And she does a lot of illustration, and she teaches a lot of classes and a lot of, I think they do journals. I can't remember everything she taught, but I spent a year doing those Celtic knots with her. And she has a newsletter that comes out every week, every month. I don't know, but she talked about this one, this book, and this she was doing something in the style of this person, and she mentioned this book. And I just want to show you how lovely this is. We're going to have to do something from this book. Her name is Danielle Donaldson. Do y'all know her? Anybody know of this artist?
No.
I've looked over the book. I haven't read everything, but she talks about paper. Let me flip back here so you can see some of her drawings. She does a lot of line work and lettering, and I just assumed that she was using hot press paper. But I looked over here on her supply list after I looked through this book, and she says that she see, where's her paper, where she talks about paper. As a drawer and painter of very small things, I prefer tape-bound pads of watercolor paper, blah, blah, blah. I always buy artist grade paper, always. And I think it's more frustrating than taking a ton of time to draw your illustration, only to be thoroughly disappointed after your first wash of colors. The paper, she says 140 pounds. I use a variety of cold pressed papers. I know that it seems like hot pressed paper or smooth paper would make a better choice given the size of my illustrations. But I find it harder to create interesting washes with hot pressed paper, which seems to dry faster than its counterpart. I suggest experimenting with different papers. But I have not heard an artist say that before. Usually if there's lettering involved, they're wanting to use hot pressed paper. Now I want to show you something that I learned from her. I looked at these for a while, and I really love her line work on everything. It has a real organic feel to it. And I'm noticing that there's that thick, thin variation, line variation in her outlines. She doesn't really outline everything, just some things, and she adds details. And I thought, what in the world kind of pen is she using that she can get this kind of variation? And guess what? It's pencil. It's not a pen. She uses a 0.03 mechanical pencil. I think I saw a picture of it somewhere. This is a 203 Pentel. It's a 0.3 millimeter pencil. It's got a harder lead in it. I love these. I have a variety of these Pentel pencils in all different pens, the mechanical pencils in all different sizes. This one isn't actually Pentel. This is Draftline, but it looks just like the Pentel. I've got 03s, which I never use very much. And I have an 05, and I have 07s and 09s. They're to get the bigger the number, the softer it is. I love the 7 a lot because it smudges a little bit. So I started playing around with this today and looking at her drawings. I absolutely love the look of these lines. Very that's why it's so organic. Oh, organic is that look how she makes the little dark corners, little places where it's super dark. It looks like ink, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I love the quality, the line quality that she has, and it just adds a lot to the form, a lot of visual interest with just instead of just outlining with a black pen where you can't get very much variation, and building it up in some areas to create those little dark spots. Love it. And she does her lettering with that. And this is all done on cold pressed paper.
She have a cauliflower blooms on her elephant there.
This one, this is probably salt. Putting salt on when it's pretty wet. Instead of getting little hard snowflakes, you get things like this.
Cool. Yeah.
She loves to get some action going in her paint, not flat washes. She's got a lot of that kind of stuff going on everywhere, a lot of wet paint. So I think I'm going to read up on this. And she's got some pages that I just love where she's done everything in one color. Look at this page. Of course, I love blue. Isn't that beautiful?
And what's the name of the book and her name again?
It's called Creative Watercolor. And you can subscribe to her newsletter, I believe. She has a website. I'll have to find that. Her name is Danielle Donaldson. But look at here's salt on this little
Oh, yeah, the
right
way.
here. Now that salt was put on when it was a little bit drier. She also loves white ink. She uses Posca paint, she uses gel pens. I don't know if any of it's a dip pen, but she goes back in on a lot of these things and go back, like right here.
Is she showing her palette in the upper left corner?
Yes.
neat.
Well, some of it, she doesn't have the reds on here.
Mm.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful. Her pages are gorgeous. Look at this chair. She loves to do chairs. And she puts those little dots for the little, what do you call those stud things that they put on chairs?
Packs, rivets, are they called rivets?
Maybe.
Packs?
See. And look what has happened in here. She's got salt and all sorts of stuff happening in here. She's got granulated paint. Look at this beautiful. She also sews these things. This is sewn onto other pieces of paper. She's collaging with a sewing machine, which would be really cool on your Christmas cards to sew that background paper that we were talking about on there. And look, she painted this and then she added some interest to that upholstery by sewing this zigzag line right there. I am in love with this stuff. I think it's just so fun. There's that blue page. This hydrangea right here makes me extremely happy. And this is beautiful because it is blue and she has little touches of orange in here. You know, even these gray colors here have some orange. She probably mixed the blue and the orange together to get that warm gray color and just little bits of the complementary color. This is just incredible. There she is using a Posca pen and she adds shadows to some of her things. And look, she just made jars, glass jars, beautiful gray tones right there. She calls that a kaleidoscope of butterflies. That's the finished thing right there. This page. Letting the paint just run together and do its thing. And the element of the lettering just ties it all together, adds a completely different element from the paint, but it just kind of like strings holding it all together. It's beautiful. It has these little bear characters that she does. She loves to do animals. Look at this border. I love how she did this border. You know how I talked about not doing a complete line for your borders, and she has her line quality is beautiful and it's very organic, and I love pencils. You know, I've talked about that before. I love pencils. And this gives us permission not to use the pen. So as I'm doing this cake thing, I am adding some pencil lines to it. I'm going to outline it with a micron because that's what we have. But I'm going to add some places where there's some pencil lines in there too. Look at these things. She loves just playing around with. I think that may have been just water that she put on there. A lot of splatters, and she's got lots of instructions on making these sheets. Here's an underwater scene right here. And she makes things that look like patterned paper, but it's not. It's her painting on there. So I'm going to read this whole book and pull some lessons from here. I think some of these things that I looked in here would make great lessons for when we're doing our color theory in January and February. So I can use that. Recipe cards. Look, she's making recipe cards. And her little characters. We might have to have a class one day where we just create characters. I think that would be fun. Look at that. I love blue, pink and green. They're beautiful. Actually, pink and green are complementary colors. There, it's red and oh, that's a little golden book. Oh, she used it for an altered book. Oh gosh, I'd love to see the inside of that. Wow, look at the little tabs on this book. She's created that, she's taken that golden book and turned it into an altered book, which probably has artwork in it. And you would like this, Lynette, she's talking about organized practice. It's got your name.
I love it. Yep.
got your name on it for Lynette. Yes, we're just gonna look at a little unicorn. Oh, there's some gnomes right there. Aren't they cute? Yes, I see some of this kind of things in our future. Look at these lines. Oh my gosh.
How'd you find this book? Was it somebody that you followed online?
It was Valerie showed Jean. I get her newsletter and I've taken classes from her, and she was making no, wait a minute, am I right? Was it Valerie? Yes, Valerie Sjodin, SJO.
Oh, yes, I get her newsletter also. Yes.
She had a little article. I didn't was looking over it very quickly. She was painting fairies for her grandchildren or something, little fairies, and she had taken a class from this woman online, and she also recommended this book. So I looked her up, and I had points from Amazon. I got it for free. So it's just wonderful. That reminded me, I wanted to tell y'all something. Wait a minute, I lost my train of thought. I don't know. I just lost my train of thought. Okay. Is there anything else I needed to talk about? I was going to show you another, and hold on just a second. Sorry, I had to take care of my allergies. And my nose is all red. Pixar. Let me try to show you Pixar. I had prepared earlier. This is something that another artist I follow showed us how to use. And I went earlier, like about a week ago, I went over this. I thought, I'm going to show this to the class. Let me share. Oh, I've got so much stuff open. Let's do that. I'm going to go to Picsart.com. PICSAR.com. Now you can get a subscription to this, and they keep trying to convince you that you have to do that, but this artist said you do not. So I had paid for I was doing a free trial, and then I was going to pay like $8.95 a month or something. And then I remembered that she had said that. So something that was, if I can remember how to do that, I've only done this a couple of times. Okay, I want a new project, and I'm going to create a canvas, and I hope I can do all this right. Now, see, it's trying to tell me that I have to pay them, but I don't. Just X out of it. And now I'm going to, I have to bring a upload. And these are things I've already uploaded. Let's just take, I did it with this cake. It didn't turn out very well. Let me get another photo. Let me look for another photo real quick. That would do. This turns your artwork, your photographs into blocky things of blocks of color almost. Can't get to my stuff now because there's so much stuff open. Let's see, can I get down here to my, no, y'all are in the way. I gotta get y'all out of the way. Move. Okay. Now, I should have been more prepared for this. Let's see something that I want to do. Okay, let me do this. I did this one the other day. Is that the one I've already done? Okay, can I drag that over there? Let go in there. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to put this on here. And this is just something that is helpful when you're painting or trying to break something down into simple shapes. I need to crop it. Think about just, I'm going to make it bigger like this. It's just kind of cropped. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to, there's so much Zoom stuff in the way. I was going to have trouble when I got here because I can't remember exactly how to get to those tools. There's a tool called Magic. Darn. I was afraid to do this because I was afraid I would forget what I had done. I meant to do this before class today and I forgot. How much time do we have? Oh, I know what I need to look for. I need to look for effects. And I did it this way. There it is right there, effects. And then I'm going to go to Geode, no, Magic over here. And then I'm going to go to Geode. And this will change it into, everything's into a shape. Now I don't like the color, but there is a bar. All this stuff is in the way, if I can find it. Is it here? Anyway, can you see how it has back here, Geode? There is a bar somewhere. There was a slider right down here. Is it? Am I not seeing it because this is in the way? Well, I probably shouldn't have shown this to you. Anyway, there's a slider which will make this more colorful. You could go back to your color toning, but it breaks things. See how granted, in my kitchen, suddenly it's broken that down into basic shapes, but you can, you have a slider where you can make it have even less detail and more basic shapes. When you look at this, it's easier to draw and easier to paint, and it helps you to divide up your colors and select your colors. And I'm not talking very well this evening because I'm thinking about how to do all the stuff that I was going to do on here. But anyway, it's called PicsArt, and you can go in there and play with it. It does a lot of things. Some of the things that make some adjustments. Maybe this is it. Okay, here we go. Saturation, so I can make this, the colors a little bit more saturated.
And there's details underneath it. Maybe it's that details tab.
Yeah, I just messed that up badly. Oops, it's supposed to go in the middle. There we go. And that's even too red. You can play with the color, saturation, and it's a little slow. As you see, that it's a little slow. Details is, let's see if that's what.
Oh no,
no, that's the color.
That's not it.
Let's do that, and see what that does. More about color. But you can see that it instead of subtle changes in color, they're all in, it's hard edged. It has the color, each color has a shape. And if you were painting, you're thinking, how can I make these layers of zinnia petals that are coming towards you. If you see, you can see this is like the pine cone. It's just these light shapes that are out on the edges with darks back behind it. So it's very helpful in, this is a very complicated thing, but it will help you simplify your subject matter. Let's see if I can find something really simple in my photos. Well, let's see what it does to the pine cone. I think I have that pine cone on my uploads. Oh, there's a pine cone. Let's put that up here and see what it does to that. This is Pecky's photograph. She's not here tonight. All right, now I went to up here and I went to right there. And I went to Geode. Let's see if this will do the pine cone. There. See how it broke it up into shapes? That might help you to draw. See if you just drew that shape, and those shapes. And then this one is not as open as the one. It is at the top, not as open as the one that we did. But
It's almost like posterizing.
yes, it is like posterizing. But posterizing, you get to pick how many.
Right.
But so it's just a really fun tool. And this is free. This is free as well. It has a lot of other effects too that I didn't play with, but I like what it does with the color on this. You can keep your colors. It can show you how to localize your colors is the word I'm trying to say, that's not the word, localize. I'm trying to separate the colors. And it also helps point out that, look, this side is cooler. It's got some blue-gray and this side is warmer. It just helps you to see things a little more clearly. You may not draw it just exactly like that or paint it just exactly like that, but it helps you see your objects and your photographs from a different point of view. This is Pixart.com, and you do not have to pay for it. It will let you use it without, because I did have a free trial and I canceled that, and so I'm still going in here and doing all sorts of things with it. Okay, that wasn't a very good presentation. I wasn't prepared. Sorry. Okay, stop sharing. And okay. All right, we have about 12 minutes left. Anybody else have anything to talk about? I'm going to send out sometime tomorrow the resources for this cake. And I think I'm going to try my best to send you. I did the cake that had slices. That may be a little too difficult for you. But it's, this piece is just really out of place right here. It should have been, I guess it doesn't matter because it's cut. But I'm also going to send you a photograph of this cake, or a drawing of this cake that's not cut. That would be much easier to paint. So if you wanted to simplify it, when and if you trace this or do this on your paper, you could put all of these things closer to your cake, and all your writing could be out here, and then just put a border on it. I got a little too fancy, got carried away. I forget, I want it to look like what I want it to be, and I forget that this may not be, the blue pattern may not be what you want. So simplify this. There's not a lot of ingredients. If you just in a circle put a bowl of sour cream. This is baking soda. If you want to put a box of baking soda behind it, like we did in the last one, you could do that. Sugar, butter, the mixer, eggs. You could just put you don't even have to put 6 eggs if you don't want, just draw a little thing of 2 or 3 eggs out there and write 6 eggs over here. Flour, you could just have the flour container like we had before. I love the sifter. I have a sifter like this and I still use it. And I think everybody else has that, there's that mesh. What's it called? Sieves,
I have one like that.
Yeah. And, but this added some color to it as well. And then the bottles of thing. So this could all be in there closer with all your writing on the outside. It doesn't have to be this complicated. But mine is, and this is 9 by 11. You can make it smaller. I started off 8.5 by 11, and it got bigger. So sorry about that.
And you said that was you did that on cold press?
No, it's
Or
hot press.
Hot press. Okay.
Hot press. And this is that Brooklyn, New York Central. You always want to call it Brooklyn, New York Central paper. It's fine. I like what it's doing. I think the color's good on it. So I'm okay with that. All right. Anything else?
Janice, could you remind me what printer it is you purchased recently?
Yes, it's an Epson. What is it? Epson 3850. And here's what and it's the one that you buy the big bottles of ink and put in there. And supposedly, when you fill those ink wells, those little tanks, that it will print like 4,000 color prints. You have to change it up. We'll see. I think the ink that came with it wasn't quite as big as the ones that you buy. So I feel really good when I print. I don't worry about, because I had a Canon printer, and every time I replaced the black and the color ink, it was $50. And
Right.
It would last, several months, 4 or 5 months, I don't know. But it seems like I was always buying ink for that. But I think those bottles are, I don't know, do you know how much those bottles are? Deb, did you get that one? Don't you have that one?
I'm trying to remember now. When I've had mine like 3 years, I think, and I've only had to add ink once.
Yeah.
And it came with it extra bottles of black, because I guess you use black more often. So I got mine at Costco, I think. So sometimes you can find a deal like that where more ink bottles show up.
And those Echo tanks, Echo whatever they are, the Echo tank Epsons, whatever they're called, they have like 4 or 5 different ones, and they vary in price. This was not the cheapest, and it was not the most expensive one. They all have the print quality is the same on all of them. That's what I was willing to pay a little bit more for print quality, but the guy at Best Buy said that they all print the same. Some of them are set up for office use, and some of them you can put bigger paper in it, and that's what you're paying for when you when you get the more expensive one. But they all print the same quality. I got the one that does print 11 by legal size. I don't think I've got one that prints 11 by 14 legal size, but I'm really, really happy with it. I kept my Canon around here just in case I didn't like that one. I was going to take it back, but I won't take it back because I really did like it. It's a good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Anything else? I'm hungry, so I'm going to cut out. I haven't had something. Deb's laughing because I saw her chewing earlier in class.
I was eating the rest of my Halloween candy.
Oh, don't even talk about that. I had to throw mine out.
Yeah.
I
For
got
me,
the, what is it?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Marilyn, go on.
No, for me, it's 9 o'clock and we haven't eaten supper yet. So I'm like,
Oh yeah, but you New Yorkers, y'all are like Europeans. You eat.
I know. We eat on Barcelona time.
I'm telling you, when I was in Europe, we'd go in a restaurant about 7:30. We're the only people there, and by the time we left, the place was full. They did. We had about 9 o'clock to eat. So,
yeah.
All right. I had fun tonight. I hope you did too. And I will see y'all on Wednesday. I hope you've got your own cake recipes. Just curious, are y'all going to do this pound cake, or do you have recipes of your own you're going to do?
I'm gonna do your pound cake first, and then my own recipe after.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
same.
Michelle, are you okay?
I'm
Oh,
relearning how to do everything because I just had my left eye removed
Oh dear.
Oh, bless your heart.
because I have cancer. So
Oh my gosh.
Well, you're on my prayer list now. I'll be praying for
thank you.
speedy recovery, and I'm sure with all the therapy and things that are available today, they will have you doing everything in a new way, And
Yeah, I struggle with is the depth perception because I can't even tell like when the pen's gonna touch the paper or that sort of thing. So
you'll
those are the things I have to relearn. And then like Miriam's suggestion, doing the Zentangle, starting and then lifting off and continuing, that helps a lot because I can't really tell where things are yet. Also, since it's so new, I don't have my glasses, so
Oh, yeah.
I just can't see well right
Did
now,
you-
but
When
this
did you have
comes off tomorrow,
when did you have your surgery?
last Thursday.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, I'm glad you're with us today. That says
Thank you.
your fortitude. Thank you for being here, and we will
Yeah.
be in my prayers. Thanks for coming tonight. That really means a lot.
Thanks. Well, everybody's so nice and it's such a nice community. I really enjoy it.
Well, we're glad you're with us, and I know that all that's going to be worked out. They're going to your depth perception will probably be all about
I'll learn how to work around the new way of seeing.
muscle memory. Yeah, it's all
Yes,
about
yes.
yeah.
Oh, good.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being here, everyone, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.